I know you all have probably already formulated your opinions on this game already, but I thought it'd be important to put my own out there and we can have a little bit of a dialogue as to what Jurassic World Evolution 2 does good, what it does bad, and what it necessarily has for the future. Of course, the ideas that I'm presenting here are all of my own opinions and don't reflect what the community as a whole thinks of this game. But of course, with that being said, let's talk about what this game does great. One of the biggest aspects of the game that I constantly find myself being amazed at are the graphics. It's no secret that good graphics can make a good game into a great game, but there's something special about all of that in Jurassic World Evolution 2. First, I want to address something that usually doesn't fall within graphics, but I tend to lump it together. Audio. There is something about the sound design in JWE2 that just clicks. From the roars and hums of the dinosaurs, whether you're up close to them or you hear them all the way across your park, to the clicks of the UI on the menu, even as far as saying the music, keeping you absolutely engaged within this whole immersive experience of running your own dinosaur park. It's just one of the things that I'm constantly amazed about. Proper sound design can truly immerse players in a whole new world, and JWE2 does that perfectly, even more so than the first game itself. The next thing I actually want to address are the actual dinosaurs. While I can't really speak to accuracy, I can speak for presentation itself, and JWE2 excels at that. I constantly want to create more dinosaurs to see the new release animations and new skins just constantly sitting down. And the game gives you so many skin combinations to unlock. Collecting them all gives you a whole sandbox of things to play with, colors to mix, designs to match, and so much more. But animations are truly the biggest selling point over here. And I would argue this is actually where the game does everything correctly. While we all know that building really isn't the key focus of this game, we all pretty much know that the animals really are. And making them fluid, interesting, and dynamic just gives it this lifelike quality that keeps your interest within the game. And my word, it's stellar. Seeing the flocks of Gallimimus and Struthiomimus running from a Rex, or even a mosasaur seamlessly swimming through the seas, try saying that 5 times fast. It's just so beautiful looking at everything move so fluidly. It feels like these dinosaurs are actually real. It's honestly one of the biggest selling points of the game that I do want to throw out there. And of course the rest of the game looks freaking spectacular as well. I mean, it's a screenshot simulator when it comes down to it, since it all just looks so amazing. In fact, this is probably one of the only games where I actually can't wait for it to turn night, because once the lights turn on and the sun goes down, it feels so beautiful and peaceful. Now that's enough about graphics. Now what about actual gameplay, Leaf? Well, I must say, if you're looking for a building simulator or a park builder, you may kind of want to look elsewhere. I've even tried starting my own speed build, and I feel like some of you guys may have already seen it so far. It's kind of difficult to exactly get everything how you want it to look. The building is clunky, and I usually play with mods for literally my entire Jurassic World Evolution 2 experience, because I get to place things wherever I want with them. In base game, you don't get to do that at all. You were very much restricted, and I would say that's one of the biggest downfalls of the building itself. But what you really come to Jurassic World Evolution 2 for is management. And oh boy, do you manage. Now, while I have my own reservations in regards to management, for example, you can't automatically heal dinosaurs that you scan that you already have the antidotes for. I think this get may ironed out with the patch later down the line, but in the meantime, however, this game keeps my interest all the time. I haven't seen management this good and engaging in so long, and it works incredibly well for that. Hell, I mean, the other day I started playing challenge mode, I looked up and 5 hours had already passed without me even noticing. It's that engaging. It's so worthwhile for you to just sit down, train your staff, relay them onto research, relay them onto expeditions, keep on having them stay busy, and you stay busy as well. And I feel like that is one of the best things if you're looking for that kind of thing. If you're not a big fan of clicking on buttons all the time, this really might not be the game for you. Just a absolute fair warning. But I will say, with all the management, it is extremely rewarding once you actually clear a hurdle. and it gives you the clearest goal right after that. It tells you exactly what you should do, but you always have the choice to go on your own path. Now, of course, my biggest complaint when it comes to management is the lack of automation. I really wish there were better options for automation and management. I do appreciate the trucks having kind of routines that go about their daily lives with the ranger outposts, but I would love to see a lot better management going forward. Hopefully Frontier will be able to iron this out in a patch, but I would definitely love to see a better system when it comes to, once you get to a certain part in your park's sort of lifespan, you get to automate everything and you get to really feel like you're hiring people to do all that busy work for you. I feel like that is a clear part of management that Jurassic World Evolution 2 really skims out on. But hopefully we can get some of that later down the line. Now, speaking of management, one of the best examples of experiencing management is the career and chaos modes. Both of these modes work exceptionally well, and they're so incredibly well made with amazing voice acting for the most part. I'm looking at you, Owen Grady, for the ultimate Jurassic experience. And I have to say, if you love the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World experience, this is the meat of the stuff right here. It is so fun to immerse yourself as one of like the head creators of these attractions. It's so fun, and going through the events of the movies with Chaos Mode, it is an incredible experience when you come down to that. It is so fun. On the other hand, career mode kind of serves as a tutorial of sorts. It really helps you get accustomed to the game, accustomed to the mechanics, and I have to say each different mission being focused on different aspects of management, different kinds of dinosaurs, different kinds of navigation, it's really amazing at that, and I think this is such a wonderful thing for new players to kind of sink their teeth into and kind of give a whirl. And I think with the ending scene of the actual career mode, we will be seeing a few more installments of this going forward. Possibly with the release of Dominion, we could see some stuff in regards to that. But you may be saying, Leaf, what about challenge mode? You haven't talked about that at all. I hate challenge mode. It's so difficult to manage, it's hard to juggle, and things can go south extremely quickly. I mean, after playing it for a good few days, actually over a week, I found my footing quite a bit, but there's still such a huge learning curve in terms of managing the gap between Chaos Mode and Challenge Mode, but in the end of it, once you found your footing, it's pretty fun just to bang out. I will say, after getting accustomed to it a lot more, it is pretty fun. And I can definitely see myself going back to some of the older challenge modes and going through them, maybe even doing speedruns and stuff like that. But if you're not in the mood for such a huge time waster with a arguably lackluster payoff, I would definitely look somewhere else when it comes to that. But what if challenge mode, career mode, and chaos mode aren't really your speed? What if you just want to jump right in and play around with some dinosaurs in freeform? Well, tough news over there. Jurassic World Evolution 2 does not help out sandbox players all that well. For a game so focused on the aspect that you have limitless combinations of dinosaurs for both skins and pairings alike, the game actively tries to stop you from jumping right into sandbox mode. I understand I have quite a large Planet Zoo audience, so imagine this. You have to play through the entire career of Planet Zoo up until the desert map in order to actually unlock the desert map for sandbox mode. Yeah, it's confusing, and it's something that I have incredibly mixed feelings on. For one, I appreciate the fact that the game kind of leads you in with the tutorial and the challenge mode in order to unlock certain things for the game. While I don't think that you should really be restricted in the greater sense, it's kind of BS that you really need to play through the entire game and release every single dinosaur for you to get every single dinosaur in sandbox mode. One of my other qualms that I didn't actually write into my script over here is the fact that the deluxe edition animals don't come preloaded within your sandbox mode. You still need to unlock them. And that incredibly makes me angry because I paid an extra few bones for those. And the fact that I can't use those, the fact that I actively have to go through the career in order to unlock those, that miffs me a little bit. In fact, that kind of makes me kind of angry in a sense. But with all this being said, there is a very good reason why the 100% save files are some of the most downloaded files on Nexus currently. A lot of players don't agree with the fact that Frontier chose to have this unlock system happen in Jurassic World Evolution 2, and I very much look forward to how they deem to handle this in the future. While I do understand that some players will argue that playing through the career and playing through the challenge mode is necessarily one of the most important parts of this game, that is just those players' own opinions on how they should go about the game. When it comes to playing games like this, there are a variety of modes, and I don't think people should be restricted to a single mode when another mode perfectly suits them. For example, if you feel more like a sandbox player, I don't think that you should have to trudge through all this kind of crap in order to get to the actual enjoyable game from your own perspective. Likewise, if you enjoy the challenge and career modes, you have all the right to go enjoy those. I don't think that we should be dictating how other people should enjoy the game, but rather advocate for the best ways that people can individually experience the game. And you know what? That's a little bit of a hot take. I know that a lot of the community does not agree with that, but of course, that is just where I come from. And I am not even close to being done with Sandbox just yet. One of the most puzzling things is you can't actually use the career maps for Sandbox as well, which sucks because they're obviously the most beautiful. I mean, take a look at the Virginia map and the Arizona ones. Those in particular were some that were incredibly beautiful, and I was so excited to start a sandbox park with those, but unfortunately we're not able to use those for the sandbox mode. Though I can definitely see Frontier including a patch later down the line that does give you access for these maps, or later down the line, maybe even some of the smarter mod makers could see to making that happen for us. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about the building in particular. I know we already talked about it before, but it leaves so much to be desired. Day one, I had already installed the free build mods by Kai, and I have not looked back since. They're essentially a way of life for me now, and they unlock so much in terms of building and buildings themselves. They give you like the aviaries, like the mesh aviaries, and they give you the Jurassic Park San Diego Coliseum, the Coliseum. It just gives you so much that should have been there in the first place, and it really makes you wonder whose decision it was to take these out of the game in a sandbox mode, but that's my piece on that. Moving on from there, there is a very distinct lack of building pieces themselves, even more so than the first game. Though I assume we'll be kind of drip-fed new standalone scenery from benches to trees to flags to statues, it's very sad to see that there's such a huge lack of attention for more creative-oriented players from the initial release of this game, and it's just extremely disappointing. But, you know, it's just the initial release. Where does JWE 2 have to go from here? Since we've already completed the cycle of JWE 1, we can kind of look to that game for a direction on how JWE 2 is gonna go plan on release their DLC. I mean, with the upcoming release of Jurassic World Dominion, I can definitely see a large-scale DLC, very much on brand with Return to Jurassic Park for JWE 1, with a very large update with possibly a free dinosaur, and a plethora of new missions, pieces, and more. I would definitely love to see something like that, but in addition to that, we could also see character-specific DLCs being released as well. With the clear lack of a hybrid system, a Doctor Wu expansion is the perfect opportunity to re-release some of these forgotten hybrids from JWE 1, as well as introduce a lot more. I could also see a pseudo-Claire Sanctuary DLC being made as well, along with ties to Dr. Dua as alluded to in the career mode, and I can also assume that the Carnivore and Herbivore DLCs would return, and maybe even ones for Aquatic and Flyers to flesh out those rosters as well. In the end of it all, I can't recommend Jurassic World Evolution 2 to everyone. It's a very specific game for a very specific person, and honestly, it's up to you to decide. I understand any hesitation to go for this game right away, but with Christmas being right around the corner, I can expect a small sale for this game to take place, and that'll probably be the best time for you to bite if you do have any interest in the game. With that being said though, I really do like this game, and I hope those of you who already have it are enjoying it so far. I can't wait to see where this game will go in the future, and thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and have a great day.